All right, everybody. Here we go. We're not live. I'm not even gonna say we're live. We're not live. Toni and I were live the other day.
Yes.
And we brushed our hair for you. But we are here today. Today is Friday, February 4th. And Winter Fantasy's been going for a couple of days now. If you've been doing it online, if you've been doing it in person, you've been having a blast. I just know it from the future, in the future, from the past. I don't know. I'm a fortune teller. You're gonna have fun. You're having fun right now.
Exciting.
You may have even been to an Irish pub lately. Who knows?
That place is great.
But this is our first streaming event for Winter Fantasy, and Toni and I are here today, and we're going to share a little bit about a who is Toni, this mysterious woman sitting next to me, in case you don't know her somehow,
Cloak,
and
okay.
what's up with the new Moonshaes campaign? What is it? How does it fit in, and all that jazz. And then if you are tuning in for the rest of our streaming stuff, tomorrow we have a game at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, run by Todd Shreve, The Wild Sheep Chase. And if you have never seen that game played, um, you're in for a treat. If you've seen that game played, watch it anyways. It's always a treat. Well, we've got a great cast there, full of Canadians, and actually, I don't know if they're all. There's enough Canadians that they're all Canadians in my mind. So they will be having a blast, getting into some fun, and hopefully catching the sheep that are loose. Then on Sunday we've got another game at actually I don't know what time that game is.
Magic o'clock.
Yeah, magical clock. Um, but Jeff Stevens is going to be running a group through an adventure that he wrote. Um, and they will be dealing with some bandits in a very interesting way. I know we've all had a group where you get up to some bandits and you just, you know, look at them and you're like, well, they're not hurting us. Why do we have to do anything bad to them? I mean, I don't know, Toni, what would you do? A group of bandits, they haven't done anything to you. You didn't see them steal anything. Oh,
Usually,
that's fine.
it's the other way.
We can conscript them. They can be adventurers now.
There you go.
But yeah, so you'll definitely want to check both of those out. But in the meantime, I've prattled enough to feel like 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure. So let's get the show on the road. That's how we do these things. So Toni, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about who you are? How'd you get into this gaming thing, and how'd you make it to where you're doing this writing manager thing, the supreme cat herding role? And just what do you do in the gaming industry? I know, I just asked your whole life story. Sorry.
I don't say no. That's really what it is. I'm bad at saying
I'm
no.
bad at saying no. That's a common problem.
I'm like,
Uh,
that's kind of cool. Yeah, sure.
yeah. Um, well, I know the story, but how did you get into gaming?
When I was about 10 years old, my cousin, well, maybe like 9, a little bit before that, because my cousin who lived across the street from me we read the same fantasy novels and all that good stuff. And he brought over this game that was very exciting. And he's like, oh, we gotta check this out. And it was Battletech.
Battletech. I know that was a plot twist, everybody. That was a plot twist.
So we played Battletech, and then I discovered that there was Mech Warrior. So we played Mech Warrior. And then after that, I found out that there was a game that I liked even better because it had the fantasy that I liked a lot. And so the two of us
But
played.
You could still move figures around on the table. Very important.
We could. Yes, absolutely. So we moved to play D&D for a while, and then when I was about 10, my mom took me to my first Gen Con. So that was pretty cool. She's like, I heard about this thing. It's like a couple hours away.
And there's going to be a bunch of nerds there.
Yeah, she's like, I think it's that kind of stuff that you guys like.
Yeah. Well, one of the perks of having grown up there in the Wisconsin area, Gen Con wasn't that far away. So you could let's just go check it out. It's this new thing, it's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
So, no, that's a great way to.
So I've been suckered into it ever since.
yeah, I mean, it is much like Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. Um, you know, you might think that you're done. Maybe everybody takes a break for an edition or two, but then you come back. You always come back. And then you get really into it, and then you forget how to say no, and then you end up running things and writing things and all of that. So how did you end up writing D&D? How did you get from playing it and going to conventions to writing?
I used to I mean, everybody does the home game stuff, and that's fun and exciting. And then at one point I started playing Living Greyhawk, and I got pretty involved then at that point. I wrote a lot of or I wrote all of the special missions that they used to do. They were, like once a year, your character could ask for something that wouldn't be in an adventure. And they had these little groups called triads based around the United States for each little area. And if they said that that was okay, you could have a special mission. And it usually involves something like, my familiar got eaten. Can I get a new one? Or, like I did a special mission. I had to have one. I was like, my low level character got prismatic sprayed in the face and is now stuck in the abyss. Can someone come get me?
I just need to ask for a fetch quest favor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff. So that was pretty fun. And I really enjoyed that, doing that. I did get invited to be a triad a couple different times, but I didn't want to give up playing because at the time, if you wrote or ran, you could not play at
Yeah,
all.
because it's a living campaign and you know the story.
Yeah.
And it's just not fair.
Yeah.
No
And I
matter.
was like, no.
You're like, I'd love to, but unfortunately there is a minor inconvenience.
Like, I don't think I'm gonna, because I'm having a lot of fun, and there's like a fuzz over here.
Yeah.
A lot of fuzz, fun going on, and then I, took a break for a while, and then I was at a wedding that you were at,
You
and
were at a wedding that I was at. We went to
I was,
Seattle.
we did, and you and a couple others encouraged me to put my name in a hat for some stuff, and I did, and I got selected, and
Yes.
I have been doing stuff since. So basically, awesome people nudged me. I was like, oh, I guess, okay.
God, that's how I got started writing. People were like, "Well, I mean, you're really good at this organizing thing, and you've written words on a paper before, right?" And I'm like, "Don't patronize me." Of course, I've written things on paper. They're like, "You write
Yes.
like short fiction, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Then you can write games." Turns out they're not the same at all. Everybody, don't let them
Nope.
lie to you.
Mm-mm. They're not even close.
But the skills they do overlap. Um, so yeah, that was how I got into it. I'm good at organizing, so obviously I should start writing. People.
That's close. You're doing good though. I mean, what the heck?
It's just a flimsy excuse. But yeah. So put your name in the hat for all of that, and you've been participating in things with, if not Bald Man Games, the Bald Man for a while, because he's been involved with organized play. Previously,
Yes.
the RPGA.
He
Back
was
in
one of
old,
those triad
yeah,
members,
one of those
actually.
triads. As everybody knows, Dave doesn't need to play any games, anyways. He just organizes
Too
everything.
busy.
Too busy.
He
Um,
laments that.
yeah. So once in a triad, always, always, never the player again. But yeah. And then they got you Baldwin Games, and then Baldwin Games needed a writer, and then they had you, and you did a fantastic job of that. So they were like, "Why don't you manage this ship?"
Yes, when Eric
That
decided he was gonna, work on some other projects that he was pretty excited about, and he'd been doing it for a while, they asked if I would take over, and I said absolutely. So, because again, I was like, oh, that seems like I could do that. Yeah, sure.
yeah, I could bang that out in a couple hours, right?
Never.
No,
Mm-mm.
no. No, you are taking on an entire campaign. So Moonshaes Rising Shadows was the previous campaign, and it was I had the number of adventures written down at some point in time, but I've lost where I wrote that. It's here. But there are, yeah, a lot. There are approximately 18 trilogies, and then a set of a lot of mini adventures, and then the epic
19
finale.
trilogies. 19 trilogies and then an end special, plus other things.
Moon 1 isn't a trilogy.
That's true. That's true.
I count?
I'm like, wait a minute. Because I was like, I just finished working on 19.2 or whatever it was.
Never fear, everybody. She's not in charge of Rising Shadows.
No,
That
I
one
was
has
just helping at that point.
Yes, that one has completely wrapped up, and it was an epic campaign. So it had a lot of stuff in there, and for people who haven't played it, I don't want to spoil the entire thing, but you get acquainted with the Moonshaes, you get involved, of course, in some bullshit that the Fae have cooked up.
There's always
Always,
always
always.
garbage that they cook up.
Yeah. There's pirates, there's goblins, there's changelings, there's all sorts of really fun stuff going on in that campaign. So I definitely recommend that. How does the new campaign follow that? Do they tie together at all, or?
Yep. So there are going to be a lot less adventures. Because we have been pulled into, well, that was a lot. Eric was very ambitious, and I just my brain bleeds thinking about it.
He had a plan.
He did, and it was great.
Yes.
I'm just like, but part of it is because we got pulled into the Dream of the Red Wizard storyline, so things are very different. Like, I'm having to do a lot of changes and can't necessarily just go with the old model, and it's good and bad, as always. But we will be taking, the events that happen in the Rising Shadows will affect the future Moonshaes stuff going forward as well. So
okay. For anyone not familiar with the Dreams of the Red Wizards campaign that may have been living under a rock, do you want to give a summary of that?
That's changed a lot too, though.
But from where we started to where we're at right now, which is DRW 17.
Yes. So the Dream of the Red Wizards obviously involves the Red Wizards. What? Gasp.
Well,
shock.
It's actually kind of funny because the first 3 adventures didn't involve the Red Wizards very much.
Maybe tangentially. You gotta work up to it,
Yeah. We start out and we meet this figure by the name of Zahira, and we go on some pirate adventures to start. And we acquire a what is most definitely a barnacled great club, and not at all a scepter, a ruling scepter.
No, it's not.
It turns out it is indeed a ruling scepter. And that ties you into the giants from Storm King's Thunder.
Yep.
And that is where both you and I actually came into the storyline writing stuff.
Yes, which was fun.
Yeah, so start tying those giants from Storm King's Thunder in, and a mystery unfolds and unravels, and lots of players get pulled into it, including the Red Wizards.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And then Red Wizards do Red Wizard stuff, and they're doing bad.
They're always shady.
They're doing bad things. They're trying to do a slavery, and players want players are noble heroes and can't stand for that.
Yeah, they're like, no.
Yeah, and so I think that's up to where we are without any actual spoilers for the campaign.
Yeah, I'm like trying to think. I'm like, I can't really tell you like what's going on because it'll ruin a bunch of stuff. But Red Wizard's doing Red Wizard things.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're getting ready for Dreams of the Red Wizards 18, 19. No. Shoot, I've already forgotten which ones are at Winter Fantasy as well. I'm bad at this today.
It should be 18, 19, and then there's a final one adventure that's labeled 20, and then there should be
an epic. There's an epic.
Yeah, there's an epic, and then there is the the new Moonshae 1 and 2, the preferred organizer Moonshae is what they're called. I don't like the abbreviation.
No, that's terrible. But yes, so that is exactly right. That is what we have left. You can play Dreams of the Red Wizards 14 through 17. Sorry, wow, that's not right. 9 through 17 at Winter Fantasy in person. And we have 13 through 17 plus Epic number 1 takes you back to Myth Nantar, and Epic number 3, which puts you at Candlekeep, also running there. So we got a lot of great stuff that you could play that'll get you ready to play the new Moonshae Preferred Organizer campaign.
Yes, and it will be exciting. It'll be exciting. Woo!
That would be exciting. So can we expect lots of more like the Celtic weird lore stuff that we were seeing from Eric? And
oh, absolutely. And Eric is already offered to be basically in the wings if I have questions on how to do things, which is great because I'd be like I did that this weekend. I was like, I feel like there might be something better for this thing that, ties in somewhere, but I can't quite, because there's a lot of lore. There's a lot.
Yeah, no. I've done 3-hour-long segments with Eric regarding Moonshae stuff, and every time I hear things I didn't hear previously.
Yeah. And he is just an encyclopedia of knowledge. So he's so nice and he's so helpful on that kind of stuff. He's like, yes, what if there's this and this and this? And I'm like, oh, that is exactly what I needed to know. I wanted to make sure before I made something up or
and he can pronounce the name of all the locations.
Yes. He does Celtic stuff pretty good.
Yeah, that is a skill right there. I point at them on the map generally. We're gonna go here.
This one right here.
Right here.
This place.
Yes, this place here. So what gosh, it is hard to talk about campaigns when you don't want to spoil the campaigns.
I know. I was like, oh no, I don't really.
I know, but so you've got some adventure blurbs and stuff, but what do you think players should most look forward to at the beginning of it here? So what things do we have at the beginning of the campaign where we're drawing people in? I know we've got Forgotten Phase of the Familiar and Unsee the Unseelie. So just looking at those titles there, we got some Fae shenanigans like right out of the gate.
There's always shenanigans with the Fae.
Yes.
And it's the Moonshaes. They're just everywhere. How can you not have shenanigans with the Fae? I mean.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. I don't know what else. I don't know.
You don't know? What? I thought you knew everything.
No, I know. But
I'm just trying to think of.
I know.
Trying to think of something that I can say. I don't want to go into too much because it's a new campaign and people got to get kind of interested and started. And I mean, these are tier 2 adventures.
Okay,
so
there we go. Factual statements are
yes,
good.
Tier 2. You might be able to kind of guess what is kind of going on in there with the titles. Maybe not. Like you said, some with the Fae. There's going on stuff like that. But no, and it's fun to do this stuff. So I think, and I like reaching out to, both old and new authors and seeing what they can do. And, and things happen, sometimes authors have emergencies or whatever, which, did happen. So I kind of got thrown right in the fire.
Yeah, so but I don't know who stepped out, but I know who stepped in that situation, and we are going to be very pleased at the one that I know that's premiering at Winter Fantasy. You probably won't be able to tell which one it is. They both had oodles of time to work on it.
Yeah, both authors kind of took off. So I got a new a new a new author, Heath Halbrooks. So he did great. And then especially for not really having written before. So,
Yeah, Heath is.
like I said, I try to do that and get that all taken care of. So that's kind of awesome that way. But and like I said, everybody was kind of like, oh no, we've got to go. It's get it done, hurry. So
Well, for people who maybe are interested in being an author for Moonshaes, what advice would you give them to, I don't know, prepare for that? Maybe write something in the meantime.
well, first I want to mention the other author who is Jonathan
Yes.
Connersell. So, and he also has done a great job, especially on shorter notice. So,
Well, you said do something with the Fae, which are his favorite. He's big gay for the Fae. So,
I did.
um,
I gave him a bunch of stuff, and I was like, "Here you go. Here's what's going on. Here,
yes.
go. I see what you do." So,
He called me that day. He was delighted.
oh, good. Oh, good. I know. I was like, I was just like,
I don't think it
oh
was an
my
actual
gosh.
phone call. I think it might have been a message, but whatever, same thing.
It's nowadays. So,
Yeah.
but to your question, I guess, um, right. I did put out a while ago a call for writers. So I do keep track of all that to people who turned in bits and things in expressed interest. And then I also, much like I do for my new position as AL admin,
Yeah.
I peruse the DMs Guild. There's a lot of different ways to kind of pick up on stuff. If I hear, oh, this person did this adventure and it's amazing, then I'll go and I will go and buy a copy, check it out, read it, and be like, oh yeah, this is really good. Or, and sometimes that works out, and a lot of times they're really good. There are some times where I've been like, this is a little too much for Adventures League, and then I'm like, okay, but can they still write like not like, you know what I mean? So it's I have lists and
Yes.
spreadsheets and
Yeah.
all kinds of
Um,
stuff.
Well, regardless of if you are doing it with the intent of writing for the Moonshaes, though, I
Absolutely.
think the advice of just write something um, is always excellent advice, especially if you want to try to do something dungeon craft or whatever to see if you can write within the confines of limitations, which is an important skill if you ever want to work for a program like Tony's
Absolutely.
or especially write for the Adventurers League itself or really um, anyone who's going to contract you for anything is going to have
Right.
specifications. So,
And that's the hardest part, I think, for most people is using a template and using it appropriately. They really struggle with that.
mm-hmm.
And then, this format or whatever, and then working within the confines of what they were given.
It's always very tempting to just, I have an idea, I'm going to write more. They don't want my more. They didn't ask for it. As a matter of fact, they said 5,000 words, and I've already turned in 8. Stop adding to it, Jenny.
Yeah, I've
Sorry,
been accused
Greg.
of I've been accused. He doesn't. He's like, really? You wrote way too much. I'm like, I can cut it down, but I don't want to.
We don't have to count the boilerplate, right?
Right? Oh God, sadly, yes.
You do. You do. The boilerplate counts. Somebody already wrote.
Bots also count usually in word count, even though I ask every time. Like, can I I want to make up something, and can I not? Does that not count? Let's not count the monster.
Yeah, if you include 40 different monsters, there goes your word count.
8. Yeah,
yep.
It's gone. You have no story.
So, yeah. All right. Well, I think we probably shared everything that we can share without walking them through all of these storylines and ruining it for everyone who hasn't played them. But I know I, for one, heartily recommend that everyone play all 3 of these. They're wonderful, very tight-knit storyline. So if you really enjoy that, then you'll love it. And
yes, we do try to have a continuing storyline, and the Dream of the Red Wizards does as well. And that was part of its point when it was made, is that, you know, what happens earlier does matter later, and what, you know, what affects, so that, you know, hopefully players have some effect on the storyline.
And especially if you've been playing, for some of these, like if you've been playing D&D since 5th edition, since it released, or if you're one of those people who's just played some of the old campaign books and you only started recently, it ties into so many of those things. You get those Easter eggs, and it just feels really fulfilling when you're like, what I've done now was because of what Tiamat did here, and when we went to the cultist and this other whole book thing, it came around full circle, and now we're here, and I'm somehow my own grandpa. No, there's no time traveling.
Wait, what? Didn't you write the time travel mod?
that was not Dreams of the Red Wizard.
No, it's not, but
yes, I did write the time travel adventure.
Okay, I thought so.
I don't. You could have become your great grandpa in that one. The time span was a bit too long.
It was pretty far, yeah.
Yeah, it was. We went way back in Waterdeepian history. Before there was even Waterdeep.
Yep. It was a good mod. I had fun with it.
Yeah, we went to the Shunnak Empire. For everyone who's not familiar with the Shunnak Empire, it's okay. I wasn't either.
Yeah, whenever I do that, I have to dig out, whenever I do writing, I dig out like a bunch of my old books, like if there are novels, if I had them, or I did that for the Moonshaes stuff, reread. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. This is a good book.
Do you draw a lot of inspiration from the Moonshae novels when you're designing storylines?
Yes. In general, absolutely. And just at least, you know, to get the flavor and the kind of some of the history and work it in there so that it has the same, or hopefully some of the same feel, and a little less generic sort of a feel.
I think that's you know, that's an interesting way to do it, and it definitely makes it feel more, I don't want to say authentic, because even if it changed, it still is Moonshaes, because the Moonshaes is constantly evolving. But it makes it feel more connected for you know, people who've been involved in the Moon, like Eric, who've been involved in the Moonshaes probably since it was born.
Yeah, he loves the Moonshaes, which is awesome, and he's very passionate about it, which is great.
Yeah,
and it's great to have that resource too. Like I said, there are so many books and so many like old products and like all kinds of stuff.
He's got puppets.
He does have puppets.
Like Moonshae,
they're awesome puppets.
Moonshae puppets, and I love them, all of them.
They are fabulous puppets.
Oh, I know. I was so excited when he brought them out in my stream. I think I got too excited, and he thought that I wasn't excited because I was overexcited. I'm sorry. But yeah. Alrighty. Well, you know, thank you for joining us today, Toni, and sharing a little bit about Moonshaes going forward, how it all connects together, and I hope people are excited to play it and are snapping it up as soon as it comes out. We're going to continue to run those at the virtual D&D weekends every month, so that's a great opportunity to come and play them with you know, the best DMs Baldwin has to offer, and some of the authors even run for us. So
yes, in fact, I'm doing a game tomorrow night. I'm playing in a Moonshae for a charity for Jaster's Game Day. So
yeah, yeah, I'm going to play in some Moonshaes for charity next month. It's still January.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
In February.
It's barely January.
Yeah, I know, but it still is. All right. Well, with that, Toni, again, I already thanked you. Where can everyone find you online if they want to harass you more about Moonshaes, or just follow you and pick up all of the things you've ever written?
They can absolutely do so. I'm on Twitter at VORGRYTH. I have an Instagram account with the same moniker, and those are generally the two places that I hang out that they can reach me. I don't use Instagram nearly as much as I do anything else.
Yeah. And you know, you can't find Toni on Discord because her phone doesn't show you she's on Discord.
Yes, I am on Discord. I don't remember what my Discord name is though right now.
I don't
Sylvan
know.
Dragon. That's what it is.
Yeah.
There you go. You can chat with me on Discord too. Absolutely.
You can find her over on the Baldwin servers.
Yes.
There
Please.
you go. All right.
Please bother me.
And you can find me, of course, at Jenny Loveday on all the things. But more importantly, you can find Baldwin Games over on Twitter at Baldwin Games. You can follow us on Twitch, Baldwin_Games. Follow us on YouTube. We're Baldwin Games there. We got a Facebook page as well. Like and subscribe and share it with your friends. You know, all that jazz.
Yes. Do all of it.
Especially subscribe to our YouTube page, please. It is free to do, and we want to have a URL that says Baldwin Games one day instead of channel U0YC3P23TT something or other.
Oh, that's kind of impressive. You got that far in there.
It's like 36 characters long or something like that. It's long. It's unwieldy. But yeah, well, that is, I think, gonna be it for this this episode of. We don't have a name for this show.
Oh, really? Cool people hang out. I don't know.
Friday night discussions with Baldwin Games. Yeah.
There you go. That's a good
Alrighty,
one.
everyone. Enjoy the rest of your winter fantasy, and see you back in a couple of weeks for February virtual D&D weekend.
Right. Yeah, I hope everybody has super fun at Winter Fantasy. I'm kind of jealous I'm not going to be there.
You're there in spirit.
Yes.
Yes.
I am.
All right.
So I'm cheering everybody on.
All righty. Well, thank you, everyone. Good night.